Good morning, everybody. I did receive some feedback that some of the different streaming sites were not receiving audio. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again. I'm going to put this through one more time. We've had several requests because of the material, and it is very effective material. So I've got a few minutes here, so I'm going to go back through for the people who were not able to meet or who were not able to hear. Again, I apologize if you've had difficulties with the audio. That's always kind of the battle that we have when we're streaming to multiple sites is some sites get audio, other sites don't. If for some reason you don't hear the material, I do always post a full recap on my YouTube channel and also on Facebook. Those two services based on the length do actually allow me to post it on there. So I try to do that as well. And I also try to put transcripts out. So if for some reason you guys didn't hear it, I apologize. We're going to rerun this again. Like I say, I've got some extra time, so I'll be more than happy to go through this material one more time. Again, if for some reason you don't have audio, just send me a quick little message on mostly Instagram. It's the easiest. If for some reason you can't hear it, I'll try to make adjustments as we go. I'm going to dive right into this real quick just because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But the subject today was time management mastery. And this is very important to me. I think time management is, in my opinion, one of the most critical ways for companies to either make it or break it. Usage of time is always tricky, especially when business owners are tasked with so many different things, especially small businesses that are operating on such a small scale. There are a lot of tasks that need to be done throughout the day. And it's always kind of that battle of which tasks do I focus on, which ones are effective, which ones are not. So for me personally, I utilize what's called the 80-20 rule. And basically for me, it's focusing and spending my time, the majority of my time, on what I would consider to be the high impact tasks. Basically, the way that the 80-20 rule works is we're going to identify out 20% of the activities that drive 80% of the results. Again, the focus is going to be spending our time on the revenue driving activities, those activities that are actually pushing your business forward. And again, like I say, I know there are many tasks that have to get done, but the key is going to be figuring out which tasks are critical, which ones are not so critical, and in the end, which tasks just don't really need to be focused on. The big thing for me is auditing the daily schedule to minimize low impact tasks. The key here is going to be going through, documenting out the different tasks that you need to be doing, and then looking it over and saying, okay, of these tasks that I have, which ones are the most critical? Which ones are going to be the ones that I personally need to spend the time on in order to grow my business? The second thing is looking at those, what we call low impact tasks, and saying of these tasks, number one, which ones can I automate if that's possible? And the second one is which one of these tasks can I delegate if that's possible for you as well? Automation and delegation is huge. If you're like me, you tend to take on a huge amount of tasks. I tend to be a control freak because I feel like, okay, I could just get it done faster or I can be more effective. But the problem is by taking on so many tasks, you're robbing yourself of the time to focus on the things that you really specialize in, those things that truly desperately need your attention, that are really going to push you to effectively grow your business to the next level. One of the specific tasks that I put in place are what I call focus blocks. And to me, they really are the key to generating activities that are really the ones that truly push the revenue forward. And by focus blocks, I mean actually dedicating blocks of time for each task. For me personally, I dedicate out 30 minutes. I've had some people do 15-minute blocks. Other people do an hour block. For me, 15 minutes is just, it's too fast. I can't operate that quick and be efficient. I'm just not that ADD. I do know people that can do 15-minute blocks and they're extremely effective. And on the flip side, for me, an hour block is too much. I end up lagging behind. It's too much time for me personally to be dedicating on a task, especially for the number of tasks that I have to fulfill each day. I've found personally that 30 minutes tends to be the perfect time for me. And again, a lot of this is going to be trial and error for you and figuring out what specifically works for you. But these are some things that have worked for me personally. And like I say, through a lot of trial and error, 30 minutes just seems to be that time frame for me where I can literally block out every 30 minutes of my day towards a specific task. I'll kind of hone this in for you and get really specific. 30 minutes when I come in, I dedicate 30 minutes right away to going over any emails that I didn't answer at the end of the day, the previous day. I'll move on. Next 30 minutes will be client follow-up. Next 30 minutes will be calling on expired listings. Next 30 minutes on that, after that will be follow-up with other agents for training, so on and so forth. So you kind of get the point. Basically, for me, it's being intentional with every second of my time. Let's face it, guys, we have a limited amount of time. There's only so many hours in the day. And for anybody that's either a real estate agent or a business owner, you know that from the second that you sit down to the end of the day, the time goes so quickly. And if you're not intentional, you look back and you have your list of tasks, and you're going to get very frustrated because you're going to see very quickly that the majority of the tasks that you had for the day just didn't get accomplished. So again, be very intentional. Protect your time and use your time wisely, because in the end, we all have the same amount of time. And the people who are figuring out how to effectively utilize their time are the ones that are making those strides over everyone else, because they're getting more done. The second thing for me is tools and systems for staying organized. I am a huge believer in having organized software for running your business. I think it's critical. Specifically for me, there's two different versions of systems that I put into place. A CRM system for me is critical. For me personally, I could never operate efficiently without having a proper customer relationship management system. I run everything through mine, from client follow-up to scheduling, emails, text messages, literally every form of communication that I have with my clients, I run it through a CRM system. The reason I do that is because I deal with a very high volume of clients. I work multiple states. And in order for me to be able to effectively follow up and not let my clients get forgotten, I have to utilize those systems. The other thing within the CRM systems that I greatly encourage people is, if you have a system, learn how to use every aspect of it. The CRM systems usually all offer trainings. They're free trainings. I encourage everybody participate in them. Know how to use that system from in to out. Automation. CRM systems can do automated emails, automated text messages. You can jump in and tweak them to be more customized to you. But in the end, it's how can we effectively communicate with the largest amount of our clients in the shortest amount of time. The second thing that I do is calendar. I personally use Outlook calendars. I color code them. I have a star system that I use on how important the meetings are. Again, everybody's going to have their own personal system or way of tweaking the systems to work. But the one consistent remains that any of the most successful people in our spaces will tell you that utilization for software systems for time management and client management is absolutely critical. The last thing that I want to focus on for having a little bit of a system of organization is, at the end of the day, what I do personally every single day is I look at the tasks that I accomplished throughout the day, and I also look at the tasks that I didn't accomplish. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm actually going to plan out tomorrow's tasks at the end of today. Now, the reason I do that is because I want to be effective when I come into the office the next day, to where I can literally sit down and hit the ground running. I don't have to sit there, look around, fiddle around with papers. What am I going to do? Where do I start? I know exactly where I'm going to start. I know what tasks need to be done. I've got them blocked out. I know how long it's going to take me to get them done. And what it does is you're being intentional. And I think that's the biggest thing that I can stress to everybody, is being intentional with everything that you do so that you can be effective. Because in the end, like I said, we all have the same amount of time. We know how fast time goes, and you want to make sure that you can get the most amount of tasks done for your day, the most amount of effective tasks done within that time frame. So I'm going to leave it open here for a couple questions or comments on Instagram. If there's anybody here that has questions about processes that I've put into place, systems that I use, I'm more than happy to share that. And you can always text me, DM me, or email me. I did have one question on the prior session about what CRM system that I personally use. I personally utilize KV Core. I've looked at them all, and just for me personally, KV Core is the one that had the most robust amount of different detailed systems that I personally use, from automation to calendar syncing, email syncing. For me, it's nice because it's one portal that literally does everything for me, even down to real estate searches for my clients. So I can see what properties they're looking at. They can message me through it. Again, for me personally, I want to eliminate time. I want to have one system that does everything for me so that I'm not scrambling trying to figure out, okay, I got to go to this program. I've got to go to that program. I have it all on one screen. And then the other question that I had from the previous session again is what calendar systems do I use? I know there's a bunch of them out there. Google. I'm an old corporate guy, so I always default to Microsoft. It's just how I'm wired. I use Outlook. For me, it's critical. And again, I go down to even color coding my appointments. I put everything on my calendar. I haven't dabbled yet with Calendly and the different programs for automated appointments. That one's got a little bit more complex for me. I like to be able to manage my time and not have things pop up on my calendar without me seeing them. But again, I've had other agents that use that and it's been extremely effective. In the end, I don't care what system you use, just make sure you use a system and not only use it, but understand how to get the most out of it so you can be effective. So again, I will leave it open a few seconds for some questions. If there's anybody on there that wants to type in a quick little question or comment, I'd be more than happy to hear from you. And thank you again for you guys that joined the second session here. We did have some audio issues on the first one. So if for some reason you were able to miss, I will be reposting everything here. I'll put it on my YouTube channel, and I always put it on my Facebook channel because they allow me to put the full segment on there. So you can always focus back if there's something you wanted to listen to again. Thank you again for joining me, guys. I don't want to take too much of your time. Again, if you're an agent out there looking to take your career to the next level, Lisa Copeland and we're rapidly expanding. We've got a ton of business. We're looking for agents to join us. Specifically right now, we're growing the Central Coast California division as well as Central Texas. So if you're looking to grow and you want to be a part of a team that does just phenomenal training, we're here to support you in and out, help you. Our goal is to help you be successful. Then we'd love to have you. And on the inverse, if you're new and you're looking to get into the real estate industry and you don't know where to start, please contact me. I'd be more than happy to work with you through the process and again, help you to be successful. Thank you so much, guys. We'll start again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Again, thank you for your time, and everybody go out there and have an awesome day.